Good afternoon. This is Rudy Giuliani. Actually, good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani, and this is the Rudy Giuliani Show on Lindell TV on X. And we don't know where else. But we do know where we are. We're in Palm Beach, and we do know what day it is. It's Wednesday. It's the Wednesday before Easter. And like most of these days, it has a name. But the name hasn't been used much in the modern church. Today, it used to be known in the traditional church as Spy Wednesday. And I did a little research to try to remember why. I remember it was Spy Wednesday, but I don't remember why. It was Spy Wednesday because the gospel of today recites the story of Judas turning him in. And although it is a very long gospel containing the entire passion, it is the key part of the passion. And the day was called Spy Wednesday. Of course, now we go into the highest of the holy days. Tomorrow is Holy Thursday, which is a day that memorializes a number of critical things to Christianity and to the Catholic Church. The communion, the creation of the Eucharist at the Last Supper, in which his apostles are giving the power to turn bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ as a commemorative of Jesus. It is when he is turned over to his captors and brought before the Sanhedrin, and then brought before Herod, and then eventually brought before Pilate, and then brought before the Sanhedrin again, and back and forth until, as we go into the morning of Good Friday, when he's tried and convicted, tried in a mock trial, basically a caving in of Pilate to the will of the crowd, in order to not have difficulties. And the method of killing him for the crimes for which he was accused is brutal beyond belief, right? He was accused of claiming to be the Messiah, the King of the Jews, maybe to some extent the king, as a affront to Rome, as a way of bringing Herod into it. Not accused of killing anyone, not accused of stealing money from anyone, not accused of defrauding anyone. He was convicted of a purely, one could say, theological crime, as far as being a king and a threat to Rome. That's laughable, of course. Rome had enemies, and Rome, of course, was the most powerful nation on earth at the time. It's like calling January 6th an insurrection against the biggest army in the world with no guns. Jesus was an insurrection. And he even went out of his way to point out that he was no threat to the civil authorities. Render to Caesar that which is Caesar's, and to God that which is God. And he explained to Pilate, we're talking about two different kingdoms. I'm not talking about your kingdom. I'm talking about a kingdom you don't know about, you don't accept, you don't believe. Pilate got that. But Pilate was an enormously corrupt man, a frightened man, a man that the Romans, he was on the last legs with the Romans. There were all kinds of revolutions of different kinds at the time, swirling around Judea. So there'd be revolutions, some of which were aimed at Rome. Although at that point, those were fairly far off and rather unrealistic. The mob in Judea, Samaria, was not even going to be able to take on Roman legions that were in the area, much less if Rome were to bring in any kind of reinforcements. The real turmoil was within the religion itself. In the fight over the Messiah. What is the Messiah? What is the Messiah to be? Is the Messiah going to be a political leader? Is the Messiah going to be a military leader, a spiritual leader? Is he going to lead only Jews? Is he going to lead the world? And that really wasn't thought about within the circles of zealots that were in competition with each other, of which Jesus was kind of considered part of that, but then different. So it was an era in which people were used to hearing many theories, many cults, many versions of a Messiah or deliverer. So the fact that Jesus was able to get through was frightening. And it should have been frightening in a way that brought on recognition, and it was for many, but it was frightening to some that brought on defensiveness. So it's probably, without any doubt, the most fascinating time in the history of the world. And the story is told and retold and told and retold. And every time it is, you'll find different things about it to focus on. I urge you to participate based on either your religious beliefs or your historical curiosity. Participate in the readings of the gospel and the readings of the Passion. And they're all a little bit different. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all had a somewhat different view. Same basics, but a different view, different things emphasized. And certainly a story that you don't accept on scientific proof, you accept it on faith and love. It's the only thing that's going to deliver us. So it's all we got. You better hang on to it. Well, Ted, I don't know much about this Chris Van Hollen, but is he really okay? I mean, does he need help, mental help, or? Well, I mean, why would an American, forget senator or whatever, right? Why would a grown adult American male go to El Salvador and try to bring a leader of a group called MS-13 that specializes in taking over cities by chopping the heads of children off, and a group of which he was absolutely a member, although maybe at various times not classified properly in one group or another, but no question he was a member of it. Right. A man who came into the United States illegally. Right. And a man who now is sent back to El Salvador. And the president of El Salvador doesn't want to give him back, because the president of El Salvador figures if I give him back, I'm going to get him back. This game's over as far as I'm concerned, because he's trying to straighten out El Salvador. Now, what is Van Hollen trying to do? Ruin Maryland? Right. It seems backwards. What's this guy going to do when is he going to work in his congressional office? There's an idea. Is he going to bring it to work in Washington every day? I'm sure the whole office give him advice on Latin American economics. He literally flew down there today, Mayor. Can we listen to this thing? Let's play cut one.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city, looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our Foreign Service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf of our country. I'm proud to co-chair the bipartisan Foreign Service Caucus that stands up for the men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful. I also hope to have the chance to meet with him, but we'll have a better idea if that works out a little later on.
This miserable son of a bitch didn't do a damn thing about the hostages in Israel to try to bring them home for their American families. And he went to see the wife and kids, and he wants to bring them home. So what? So he can take up his station as an officer in the MS-13 group. You got a job for him, Chris? I mean, what's he going to do? Why in God's name are you doing this? What, are you kind of wacko? Now let's listen to Caroline Levitt. Let's listen to it just recite the history of the good Mr. Garcia.
Good afternoon, everybody. President Trump campaigned on the promise to secure our homeland and deport violent alien criminals from our communities. That is why the American people overwhelmingly reelected him back to this office, and it's why the American people defeated the Democrat Party in devastating fashion. Today, we have officially learned Democrat officials still refuse to accept the will of the American people. Maryland Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen rushed to Dulles Airport this morning to fly to El Salvador, potentially using taxpayer dollars, to demand the release of deported, illegal, alien MS-13 terrorists. The Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country. And when Kilmar Abrego Garcia was originally arrested, he was wearing a sweatshirt with rolls of money covering the ears, mouth, and eyes of presidents on various currency denominations. This is a known MS-13 gang symbol of hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Abrego Garcia was also arrested with two other well-known members of the vicious MS-13 gang. And two separate judges found that Abrego Garcia was a member of MS-13, and that finding has never been disputed. And just this morning, it was revealed through Maryland court documents that Abrego Garcia's wife petitioned for an order of protection against him for 2 instances of domestic violence in May of 2021.
Not unusual that when you're involved in a gang like that, the women are involved too. And of course, she has no choice but to petition for him to come back so he can bang her around some more. Now, what was left out by Caroline, and it does confuse people, is there was a judge in the middle of that that said he shouldn't be returned, that he should be given asylum, because if he's returned, he's going to be subjected to violence. But catch this. I want you to listen to it, and I want you to think about it like a smart American, not like the brainwashed large percentage of our country that follow the Democrats. I want you to listen to this. Is very important. If he's returned to El Salvador, he may be subject to persecution by another gang. Doesn't that prove everything you want to prove, that he's a member of a gang? And what are we doing protecting people from getting protected against being attacked by gangs in their country? If we did that, we'd take in half the damn world. What do you mean he's subject to attack by another gang? Why would he be subject to attack by another gang if he wasn't a member of a gang? And they do say another gang, suggesting that he is a member of one gang. And that's the one judge who came out in his favor. Why is every inference, every ridiculous lying inference given to these people who are murderers, rapists, killers? Do the Democrats like them? Who are they protecting? They're not protecting our rights. When I was arrested, I didn't have any rights. The fact that they protect their rights didn't give me any rights from being falsely prosecuted. They never came and complained about the Bar Association lynching me on false, altered testimony, evidence, tapes that were altered. They never bothered to do anything about it. That's an acceptable violation of due process of an American citizen with, up until then, an unblemished record. I don't know. I don't know if Marxism has achieved one of its levels of success, which is to bring in a very, very, very large element of Satan and evil into their ideology, and to elevate evil above good. If you want to read about that, I'll find you the chapters in Marx you can read about. But when you see them going out of their way, leaving home to help this animal, but not leaving home to help some people in Israel, you say to yourself, what other explanation is there but good and evil at this point? Now let's look at Mr. Garcia, just in case you run into him in Baltimore or in the Congress working for Van Hollen. This is Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Man, got a little short guy, huh? Likes to bang his wife around. That's one of the milder things he does. I think he'll be working in Chris Van Hollen's office when he comes back. Hello, Abrego, can you get me an appointment with Senator Hollen?
I think that there are crazier things have happened, honestly.
Well, it hasn't stopped ICE from moving forward. They have gone ahead and made a number of arrests today in New York of what was the exact number? Let me see. I think in New York it was 260 illegals, 121 serious crimes, including a murderer. If you want to look on my board before we cut, I'll give you an example of some of them there. Edmar Alejandro Colomernes Mendoza. She was basically involved in, she's Trendaragua, larceny, possession of stolen property. Luis Almeida, Quiship, Polarosin, rape, sexual abuse from Jamaica. We've got this guy here, Roberts, who's guilty of a manslaughter with intent to cause serious physical injury, criminal possession of controlled substances, criminal solicitation, corruption of minors, possession and instrument of crime, and terrorist threats. Then Camilo Cesar Gonzalez and Calada, he's from Spain. He's a member of the Sorrios gang, which cooperates with Latin American gangs. And his history includes assault, possession of a loaded gun, and then Adnan Paulino Flores, who was involved in sexual abuse of a child. We'll be back very shortly.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because we like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day and I absolutely love it, and so will you. If you want to feel and look your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements that are designed to help you with everyday health goals. Whether it's boosting your energy or trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping your testosterone up, or even reducing swelling in your legs, Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Each formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients, backed by clinical research and manufactured right here in the USA. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. With their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. So head over to purehealthresearch.com now, explore their 45 amazing supplements, and save 35% before this deal ends with promo code Lindell. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. That guy's amazing and he's staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a very special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lindell. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lindell. You won't believe how simple it is.
Welcome back to the Rudy Giuliani Show on Lindell TV. And we are now going to go to Allison Steinberg at the White House. And always a pleasure because Allison does such a great job of summing up and telling us. I mean, the White House is a storm of activity. It's like, if you don't check in on the White House, you don't know what the hell is going on. Allison, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Mayor. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Great coverage on the latest developments with this Kilmar Abrego Garcia character. Lots going on with him today.
That must have been emotional. Were you there today when Caroline made her statement and then the mother spoke?
Yes,
Oh.
I was present for that. It was absolutely heart-wrenching. Here at the White House, we were informed rather last minute that there was going to be a briefing this afternoon, which isn't normally the case. At the 4:30 hour, normally they're at 1 o'clock, typically on a Tuesday. But we were informed last minute. We were told that there was going to be a special guest. There was lots of speculation leading up to this as to who it was going to be. I knew right away when I saw her walk out that this was going to be a heartbreaking story. We were going to hear from the mother of one of the victims of these horrific crimes. Sure enough, it was the mother of Rachel Morin, who, as we know, is a mother of 5 and was brutally raped and murdered by this horrible, violent criminal MS-13 gang member. I've been covering this pretty much all week and even part of last week because I've seen the developments on this story of this horrible criminal gang member who has just been getting the royal treatment from the liberal lamestream media, who is continuing to run cover for this man. For some reason, they think that he has more rights than an American citizen. They're getting all caught up in the details of the judicial process with this snafu they're saying was, set up against him to send him to El Salvador incorrectly, when in all reality, I mean, the sole fact that he is even in America in the first place is a crime in and of itself, not to mention, the criminal acts he has inflicted on so many, innocent people, killed a woman, a mother. So yeah, it's disgusting that he's even here in the first place. And now these Democrats are all up in arms over the fact that he's in El Salvador. As you mentioned earlier, Senator Chris Van Hollen flew out today on our dime, the taxpayers' dime, to go rally for this guy to try to meet with Bukele to get him removed. Thankfully, he was denied being met with. They wouldn't let him in. So, I'm glad to see pushback there. But as we heard from Bukele earlier in the week on Monday when he sat down with President Trump in the Oval Office, he supports this decision to have him rid of America. And he said it would be very odd for him to try to smuggle him back into the country when the president has made it very clear that he is not wanted here. So, for the Democrats to continue to push this issue is bizarre. At the very end of the press conference today, Caroline Leavitt sort of wrapped up, Patty Morin's speech and address to the audience. And before they actually left the stage, there was this incredible moment where Patty Morin just looked directly into the eyes of the fake news media who have been, again, running cover for this violent criminal all week. And she just begged them to just please tell the truth. Let's play the clip of that.
And I just want to say that as a mother and as an American citizen, the president and our entire team, and I hope people in this room are grateful for your willingness to come here and your request to share your daughter's story. And I think the country hears you loud and clear. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No?
I have a question.
No? Anybody? Okay. We'll see you all later. The president will be at his dinner later this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Morin.
We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Please tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell how violent it really is. This is about protecting our children. It's more than just politics or votes or just anything. It's about national security, protecting Americans, protecting our children. Thank you. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Oh, I'm ready to cry.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely gut-wrenching. I mean, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asked, I think at the end, if anyone had any questions specifically for the mother. And there were some conservatives in there who would love to have asked a question. They all had their hands raised. But of course, the fake news, liberal legacy media didn't raise their hands. I think Caroline's question, does anyone have any questions, was directed specifically at Caitlin Collins of CNN because she has been pushing this so hard all week. And it was almost an effort to just try to tell her, look at what you've caused. Look at this grieving mother. How can you continue to push these lies and this narrative? Look at, these are the results of your action. So I'm glad that she was there to witness that. And what she's done is just so despicable all week. It's disgusting.
This is one of the most effective uses I've seen of presidential, or press briefings. Caroline's really to be commended for her creativity in the way she's doing this. I mean, it serves a public purpose.
Absolutely.
To give people a sense of what crime is really like. I mean, they've been lying about illegal alien crime for years. And for someone who's the victim of it, it has to break your heart. So it's wonderful.
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Well, thank you for covering.
I agree. I think it was wonderful, and I'm glad Caitlin Collins got to be front row to witness that. Hopefully she changes her tune this week and starts reporting on some real news here, because what she's doing, it should be criminal.
Egg hunt?
I'm hearing that there is, yes. On a lighter note, I think there is going to be an Easter celebration.
Right. Well, I was wondering, I mean, after what Biden did to it, I thought maybe it was declared, too illegal, too immoral, too.
We have a lot of making up to do for the last Easter celebration here at the White House, so I'm sure Trump will make it a good one.
I hope we can
we'll
find it to bunny rabbits. Okay. All right. Take care.
Thank you so much. You too.
Good job. Remember that? Was it the last Easter egg hunt or the one before that, with the lady who put her breasts out, and she actually had her breasts out. I mean, it used to be a time you couldn't even do that on Broadway.
Was she? What was the context here?
I don't remember. Why did she have her breasts out, Ted? Was she a trans? Yes. She was a trans trying to show us that she had breasts?
That's right.
Oh, that's confusing.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
But they just look like, if you looked at them, it looked like a woman showing her breasts.
Right. But it was a former male that got breast, or a female?
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And
I think it was all of the above. They had a couple of other things too.
And this is traditionally, under most presidents, a very family-friendly event, right? It's families and kids.
Too, that was dancing and sort of taking their clothes off.
Right. It really did play into
with kids there.
I would hope that an Easter egg roll would be a family-friendly event. I don't know what planet we're on if it turns into something else.
It is the Easter egg roll.
There it is.
Of the most perverted family in the history of the White House.
Oh, yeah. And Christmas, they did a weirdo Christmas party too.
Right.
I mean, these are not normal people, the Bidens.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
What are we? What?
Yeah, I remember that. Oh.
How did I miss this?
This is like, oh gosh, I thought that was Hunter's hard drive.
Oh my Lord.
It's right back here if you want to look at it.
Wait, they did. And you know what
Hunter's,
they did?
Right.
I remember now.
You want to see Hunter's hard drive? It's right over there.
They didn't they make Easter the same day as Trans Day or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh my gosh. At least, Easter's based on the lunar calendar. So
yeah, I think Jesus overcame it.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
He forgave him.
Definitely.
If he can forgive the people who killed him, he can forgive them, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't stop it. I do not understand what's happening with Luigi Mangione. Will American teenagers stop it?
Next hour.
He's a damn killer.
Send that to me.
Why do they look at, and he's creepy looking. I'm sorry. He's creepy looking. Obviously, his parents didn't slap him around enough. Little murdering bastard. I'm so glad that Pam Bondi's going for the death penalty. Jesus Christ, they'll probably waiting for him to come back from the dead. I'm telling you, it's getting to be satanic. I don't have the time right now to do the necessary research on the satanic portions of Marx, because I'm doing something on Xi Jinping right now that's very exciting. But as soon as I do, I assure you, this comes right out of Marx. You don't think anything that happens to us doesn't come right out of Marx? It's uncanny how these Democrats are Marxists, whether they know it or not. Many of them are too stupid to know it. Many of them don't read. Nobody reads. There was an article the other day that says nobody reads anymore. I don't even know why we have to have glasses, I guess, to see television.
And TikToks.
For TikTok. That's not gone yet. That Chinese spy network isn't gone, Mr. President. Every once in a while, you do make a mistake. TikTok, gone. Yeah, and I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of waiting on Putin. I don't know. Whitcourt's got a lot more patience than I do. I don't know how many times I'd go back there and get jerked off. Just, once. That'd be it. Both, whether it's with Putin, who's not a bad guy. Okay. Can I give a younger man a little advice from someone who has a great deal more experience, particularly with murderers? Vladimir Putin is a stone cold killer. Don't ever forget it. And he was good at it. He was trained as a killer. He made his bones in the KGB. Killing is a second nature to him. He can go back to when he was 24 years old and did murders. Mr. President, you don't have people like that around you. So just consider that when you send them to them and they spin them. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it's going a little long now. He's been killing a lot of people, Putin. Zelensky, man, you don't like Zelensky? I don't like Zelensky worse. I think Zelensky is one of the biggest phonies that ever came along and one of the great tragedies that made this war much worse and makes the future for Ukraine disastrous. But there's no comparison between Putin and Zelensky. Zelensky is just your usual crooked Ukrainian. Putin is a evil man for the ages. So there's a good part about him. He can be negotiated with, but you got to stay on top of him. You can't give him roaming room. Right now, he has roaming room, and he's using it to gather up more territory, kill more people, create more economic damage, crush more of Ukraine than he would have necessarily been able to do. And he's got a peace deal that's been outlined to him from Witkoff that sounds like doesn't even sound like a deal. He gets to keep all his territory. All 4 provinces. What do we get? I think maybe we better get on top of that. It's starting to slip away. On the Israeli front, where we have a war also going on, I think you've got them cornered. I don't think there's any. I think you've left no room for the amateurs to be snowed by the professionals. And you're a professional. It looks like either they're going to have to dismantle all of their nuclear capacity, all of it, to our satisfaction, with our watching it, inspecting it, and eternally inspecting it, or we're going to do it for them. It seems to me we're down to that, and it's a question of waiting. And that one I'm comfortable about. I think it's going to come out that way. I think everybody else knows that. And the real question is, Can the Ayatollah accept it? Now, it's a ridiculous deal. He has no choice but to accept it. So if he says, no, I'm not going to voluntarily destroy all my nuclear capacity and let you watch it and participate in it and certify it, well, then we're going to bomb him. And I would imagine we got a couple of other things up our sleeves if we have to do that, like no more Ayatollah, which may be the case anyway if he has to submit himself to such a humiliating loss. So it does really depend on the Ayatollah and whether there's enough flexibility, not within the entire Iranian country, which there is, but within the smaller group right around the Ayatollah to move him out. Because if you were in that group, you take the "we will dismantle you" rather than "we'll do it for you." And if he said no, you'd put a bullet in his head for the good of the people. I mean, it wouldn't be the first one they put up. Every one of them has probably 100 murders to their credit. So, please, you've got to understand how to operate with murderers. Amateurs don't, professionals do. And I can see a little of that. So let's not get caught into that. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. That guy's amazing and he's staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a very special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lindell. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lindell. You won't believe how simple it is.
You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupted this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows, only $14.98. Queens, $18.98. King size, only $1 more. Body pillows, $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our spring percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Oh, this is Rudy Giuliani back with you again on the Rudy Giuliani Show. We told you about the 200,000 plus that got tossed out of New York, 121,000 of which were hardened criminals. However, in Boston, it's worse. 530,000 were arrested, and the judge wouldn't let them throw them out. Boston, a U.S. district judge, Indira Talwani, ruled the migrants are entitled to a case-by-case review. 530 cases. There's a case-by-case review. And the number of crimes they've committed is apparently beyond the ability to put on the newspaper because there are so many. So, Ted, we just, we sort of just get frustrated and we say, like about Van Hollen, how do you get up in the morning and go down to El Salvador to get a guy who runs an organization that chops children's heads off?
Right.
What is he, some kind of buffoon? Is he a political buffoon?
By the way, my understanding, and I'm trying to get some live reports, is that Senator Van Hollen has not actually made contact with his friend, this MS-13 gang member.
Well,
so he goes down there. He also didn't meet with.
Do you think that the president of you saw what a sharp guy he is?
He's not even there.
The president of El Salvador might put him in prison.
Right. Just right over here, Senator. That's the cell right there, Senator.
I don't think he's left yet. He's having fun with Trump. He got his head, the guy from El Salvador's got his head screwed on straight. He doesn't like criminals. This other guy likes criminals.
And boy,
but no, I'm really serious. I'm searching for an answer because I can't do any better. Therefore, I tell jokes and I use philosophy and theology and what the hell is going on?
Right. Well, I will say the president, Caroline Leavitt, the comms team over there, did a great job today exposing the Democrats and legacy media further by letting Senator Van Hollen go on this little junket of his. And then they released further information on this individual that proves, strong links that he is in fact affiliated with MS-13. Apparently he's in 2019, as far back as 2019, he was caught up by police for some of the suspected gang activity. Multiple restraining orders were filed against him by his wife in relation to domestic violence.
Is it the same? But, and they say his wife is asking him to come back, but they don't make clear, is it the same wife?
That's a good point. And my understanding is, I want to get this straight, but they say he has 3 kids. Now, I believe he met a woman who already had the 3 children, but let me confirm that. So there's a lot of information out there.
Also, the judge, he got one ruling that they used to help him, and it's the only one the lying press mentions.
Right.
They don't mention the 3 court rulings against him.
Right.
They just mention the one court ruling in his favor, even the Post.
Right.
But the one court ruling in his favor is completely, as Jewish people say in New York, fakakta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means is it says he cannot be returned because of fear of persecution by another gang.
Right.
Which leaves wide open the suggestion that he's a member of a gang.
Right. Right.
Because they say another gang.
Right. Literally,
it's not as if he was a guy who turned gangs in and no history of that. He comes in dressed up like an MS-13 person. He's got all the doodle daddles on him. Now, would you understand? I mean, I don't know if these silly, sissy, whatever the hell they are, Democrats ever read or I remember MS-13 when it first came to Long Island, and they killed a child in East Islip, and they chopped her head off, and they left her on the beach. And I lived out there then, and I was in the security business then, and I did security for some of the Suffolk County Police Department, not that one. And I eventually went to visit the sheriff. And this is before Trump ever mentioned them. And this is the first time I heard about them.
Right.
And the sheriff said, Mayor, this is a group that started way after you. He said, I've heard about them, but I've heard about them. I did a lot of work in Colombia, and I did a lot of work in Brazil. And I heard about them in there, Tren de Aragua there. I didn't realize, if the literature is correct, and I've read up a lot about them, they started actually in Los Angeles.
Right.
And then spread back to Latin America.
Right.
And then spread back to El Salvador. And they are very well organized.
Very much.
But the point is, here's their calling card when they want to take over a neighborhood.
Right.
They come into East Islip, a nice, beautiful suburban Atlantic Ocean town, and they take a 14-year-old girl, they grab her, they rape her, and they chop her head off, and they leave her on the beach. That's the group that Donald Trump was talking about when he came down in 2015, because it was all over the newspapers then. And he said, these animals.
Right.
And to criticize them for saying animals was like, well, I don't want you to be president if you're criticizing him for saying animals.
Right.
I want him to be president for calling them animals.
Right. Mayor, do you think with the new information that came out today, not that it's new, but it's been put out by the Trump administration, we're learning more about this Garcia fellow. Do you think some Democrats and some in the legacy media will change their tune, or are they too invested in their Trump derangement syndrome and their anti-American positions where they simply can't? Or do you think some will pull back now, seeing the additional information coming out and being widely spread that does in fact tie this individual directly to MS-13?
You can't win. They can't win this. I mean, this is not a sympathetic, under any set of circumstances, this is not a sympathetic guy to bring back.
Yeah, right.
It isn't like you're bringing back the ballerina from Russia.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Mr. Citizen, Mr. Good
Plus,
Citizen.
I don't see how he gets them back. The judge is a crazy left-wing, dishonest, crooked Democrat judge.
Right.
The Supreme Court has said that the court can order the United States to facilitate the return.
Right.
But the United States can't create the return.
Right.
Well, they've facilitated the return. They'll do anything that El Salvador wants to do.
3 minutes. Yeah.
But they can't force El Salvador to return them.
Right. And also, I mean, as
you think that guy's going to budge? Or do you think he's a liberal judge, or do you think he's a man?
Boy, he was.
He's a man.
Yeah.
He's not going to budge. He's not going to be scared of them.
It's like President Trump likes him, respects
But
him.
he's going to say, bullshit, I'm not sending him back.
What, are you
And
crazy?
I'll tell you why. Here's what I would have said more than him. I said, I'm not going to send him back because this will be like ping pong. I'll get him back and he'll kill more of my people.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid like you liberals. I don't get people killed. I became president of this country to save killings.
Mayor, how is this sort of action by a Democrat senator? How will that play? I mean, do you think he's going to have egg on his face? Will he face?
I think the guy should be thrown out of office.
Right.
He should be doing something like, I don't know what he should be doing.
And
organizing child games or something.
Right. And Maryland's not. I mean, it votes Democrat often, but it's not.
It's a stupid Democrat.
Do you think we don't?
Let's face it. It had Fatso Hogan as their governor.
Yeah. Good point. I was
What
about
a
to
shit
say.
governor he was.
Well, I was about to say we got a Republican governor, but that would be a little bit not exactly.
I don't know what the hell was wrong with him.
Yeah, he really went off the deep end on the president
And
last term.
my friend Michael Steele on CNN, and
Oh yeah, he's
another so-called darling of the Republican Party in Maryland. I supported.
That's right. He's from Maryland. Michael Steele. That's
Love
another
Michael.
one.
Love
Holy
Michael.
smokes!
I don't know what the hell has happened to him.
I mean, a former friend of yours, so I hate to be.
Someday when it comes to the end of your life,
paid off. Really.
someday it comes to the end of your life, you got to look back and you got to say to yourself, what good did I do for people? And if you haven't, all this is bullshit. That's the season of the year that we're in right now, we should be considering. What good are you doing with all this garbage. And what good is Van Hollen doing with that trip down there?
It's nuts.
Suppose he gets him back. You know the guy's going to kill somebody at some point. I know criminals well enough to give you a signed statement. Within 20 years, you let him free, he'll kill somebody. 20 years, 10 years, 5 years.
Crazy, Mayor.
Yeah. It is. Well, we're coming to the end of the show for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow on Holy Thursday. So we're going to ask everyone to pray tonight for all of the people that need our help and our prayers universally this time. And also, in your own way, practice your tradition. And this is a time to make yourself knowledgeable about what is, in fact, the most powerful incident in human history, which is what we're going to be celebrating. God bless America.